crazy how we can do 3,000 meals in this small kitchen, but it works.
Sydney's known for its beauty, bridges and beaches. But the heart of Sydney is in its many neighbourhoods. I'm Joel Bennetts, a chef, surfer, and most importantly, a Sydney-sider. Come with me to explore the city's cafes, bars and restaurants to find out what Sydney's really all about and what it means to be a good neighbour. The inner west was once known as a place to live, not a destination to catch up with mates. But these suburbs are changing, and the next generation of cafes and bars are bringing something fresh to the neighbourhood. Just like in Haberfield, against the strong backdrop of Italian heritage, Happyfield is putting this suburb on the map with, of all things, North American diner food. I'm here to find out how the owners are drawing people to Haberfield and creating change in the process. Guys, it's so good to be here at Happyfield. Can you tell me how it all kind of came together?
Definitely a long time in the making. So me and Jesse used to work together at the grounds, and then we were good friends and we used to just talk about food and restaurants, and eventually it was like, Sydney's missing something.
Yeah.
Why don't we
do something about it?
You're obviously on the main strip in Haberfield. What's changed, since you guys have put yourself here?
When we first landed on the site, everybody would just say it's traditionally like Italian, Mediterranean.
People would be walking past, they'd be like, what are you opening? Hope you're going to have cannoli.
Yeah, hope it's Mediterranean.
They would literally say, hope it's Mediterranean, look what happened across the road.
Yeah.
And so we were getting a bit nervous. And then after we opened, just the reception we got from the locals and the businesses that have been here 50 years, they're like, they've never seen Haberfield like that. Ever.
Because I've actually just noticed that sign there of Ramsay Street in 1922. Looking at that corner to now is obviously an amazing transformation.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in Haberfield. How he's gonna hook us up with some pancakes? Only God knows how much maple syrup we go through. It's
Damn. Now, Jesse, I know you're Canadian, I know you're from Toronto, but I want to understand, how did you guys land on this kind of, diner-style venue?
The concept started with eggs and pancakes. You couldn't get the pancakes that I used to at home, and kind of everything evolved from there.
People are coming here from the east, from the west, from the south. Like, it's an amazing thing that you guys have created.
We didn't think it was gonna blow up as much as it did. Like, it's become like a destination now. We just try our best to keep everything local. So like, for example, all of our pastas we get from Pepe's across the road.
And even like Zanetti, it's kind of like, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. Like, it comes 3 times a day. He just tells them what coffees you want, very OG. Oh, you might like this. Happy birthday to you. Hey. So this happens about 10 times a day.
Yeah.
So the kitchen starts dinging the bell. It's crazy.
About 5 kilometres to the west is Burwood, a neighbourhood that's evolving in its own right. Known for its bustling Chinatown and legacy businesses, I wanted to catch up with Edwin of Pillar to talk about how young entrepreneurs are changing the lay of the land. Specialty coffee is obviously such a thing right now. It's massive in kind of the inner city circle. How's it been kind of being one of the first people to introduce specialty coffee into this area?
I think a coffee shop in Burwood that focuses on something that isn't necessarily trendy but is timeless is what we felt like the neighborhood needed. That aspect of specialty coffee and community, having this consistent third space where you always know you're welcome.
What kind of change have you seen in Burwood since you guys opened Pillar?
The Burwood's constantly changing. I hear plans of like turning this area into like a late night entertainment precinct. Like even when we started, specialty coffee was a bit of a hard sell. Now like people are getting more curious and asking questions.
Well, I guess that's saying something about your product. You're obviously doing something good.
Hopefully.
The three of you are putting a lot of time and energy and passion into it. So Ed, we're here on the main drag in Burwood.
Here we are.
Tell me some of your favourite spots.
Yeah, well, right off the bat, there's the 1915 Lunzo beef noodles.
Amazing.
So like a cult institution. Hong Kong barbecue as well. They got the trifecta over here in barbecue. Char siu pork, roast pork and roast duck. Super delicious. Yeah.
Awesome.
My parents ran a restaurant since I was like a month old. Yeah, and so I was born into it. They actually sent my brother and I back to China to be looked after while they set up the business. It did teach me a lot about the work and effort it takes to run a business.
What was your first realization of you thinking, hey, I want to work with coffee?
Around the corner from uni, there was a new cafe that opened. There was this new barista working. He poured for me like 3 pour-overs, filter coffees, and it was my first moment of like, wow, I didn't know coffee could taste like this. Fast forward to when we were just about to open, he roasts our coffee now. It's kind of a bit of a full circle moment.
Definitely a full circle moment.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
We owe a lot to our regulars, kind of like extended family at this point. Recently we had a photographer approach us to organize an exhibition where they'll display works every week for 5 weeks.
That's definitely a nod to what you guys are doing for the community.
If you're willing to ask, we're happy to accommodate. That was what being a pillar of the community is really about.
As it gets later in the day, I get to thinking about nightlife. It used to be that King's Cross was the centre of nightlife in Sydney. The city's lockout laws changed all of that, and the nightlife has moved on to places like Earl's Juke joint in Newtown. People love Earl's, so I had to sit down with the owner Pasan to chat about the scene he's built in the neighbourhood. Pasan, great to meet you. Mate, I want to know a little bit about Earl's and what the journey's been like for you.
Prior to opening up Earl's, I'd always worked in bars, but we hadn't yet had any of that kind of like post milk and honey cocktail renaissance down this side yet. And I was like, well, maybe I could do it. I knew I wanted it, so like maybe some other people might have as well. So dipping into my sort of music nerdery side of things, how can I like combine music and cocktails? And that came up with sort of New Orleans as a sort of focus point. A lot of classic cocktails originated from there, and a lot of really important black music started there.
Yeah, I can tell by a lot of the artworks on the walls, you're definitely into your music and I guess your blues and the classic tunes that have come out of New Orleans. What was the first draw card to Newtown for you, and why do you love it?
I always loved that it was slightly alternative compared to some other parts of Sydney. It celebrates Indigenous culture. It's a safe spot for people of diverse backgrounds from a gender and sexuality standpoint.
To be able to come to Newtown, literally to feel more comfortable, I think that's such a special thing for a suburb to hold.
For sure. There's something for everybody here. You can't overstate the importance of like migrant culture in this part of town. So you had the Greek and Italians, and then the second wave with the Vietnamese, and now you're getting another wave with like Thai and Indian. So it's really important because they all brought their food with them. Cool. I mean, even this site, right, was a butcher, a Macedonian butcher for 60 years.
So that's where the shop frontage comes
all
from?
Original. And anyone that lived in the area had memories of it, and stories about Rita, the old butcher, worked in here, chewing on a blue biro, with ink stain on her lip and big beehive haircut. I wouldn't dare touch that because that's just iconic.
What are some of the changes you've seen in Newtown?
I mean, since we've opened, there's been more and more venues open up by local independent operators. So, places like us, Mary's, Young Henry's, these kind of things are all kind of bubbling under the radar, and we all kind of open around the same time. These guys, for example, Repress Records, independent, locally owned, and I think that's the key to like keeping it connected to the community. Then it feels like it belongs.
Real authenticity, I think.
Yeah.
Did you feel a shift of, that nightlife kind of migrating towards Newtown?
It's kind of like pushed the importance of high streets in local areas. I'm sure Newtown's not the only one. I'm sure like Bondi, Surrey Hills, like these kind of areas are all like picked up locally. And I think now that infrastructure's supported by more small venues. So you can actually have a full day / night out in this part of town. A lot of the rival businesses are actually like friends of ours. We're all pretty comfortable asking for help if we need it.
It's kind of one team, one dream.
The kind of cliche is that a rising tide lifts all ships. So I think we're all benefiting. I'm certainly happy not to be the only cocktail bar in the area now, so willingness to sort of support each other, help out when you need to. That's what makes working in a place like this, in an area like this, really special.
Supporting local business, not just within here, but outside of here.
Guys, it's an hour wait, but go to Papa's, go to Zanetti's, go to Penzanella.
At the heart of it, it's real people making real connections.
Change is a two-way street. As neighbourhoods change, businesses do too. Maybe part of being a good neighbour is bringing a part of yourself to the hood to keep Sydney thriving.